Hi everyone and welcome back to WARNO League Season Zero from SD League. Today we are in Division 1 and we are watching a game, or two games back to back, with Lathans and Tofuk. I'm being careful how I say that name. In this game we have Lathans on the left in red playing as the KDA Erfurt. And on the right in blue we have Tofuk playing as the 35th. Obviously, we see plenty of Spetsnaz out early for Lathans here. These are forward deployment troops, aiming to get into this town as quickly as possible, I'm sure. Equally, we see plenty of units here moving into this side of the town for Tofuk, who I'm going to refer to as Toff for the rest of this match. MiG-29 coming in there, though there isn't actually... Oh, there's an Su-17 rocket coming in there. Already seeing an OSA engaging on that MiG-29. Rocket attack jet going after some forward troops there by the looks of it. Has managed to stun something engaged on those Spetsnaz. Up here at the top, there's quite a few units gone up there from Toff, to be honest. Not something we see very often. I'd say there's more from Toff there than I would usually expect from someone on the left-hand side of the map. That MiG-29 coming over again and dying. Has been engaged by multiple anti-air units. There's two OSAs there. Many T-55As coming in there from Lathans as well. A very strong unit at the moment. Plenty of Spetsnaz pushing through this point here. Spetsnaz obviously with the RPO launcher. Very effective against infantry. BMD-2 in this point here. Laying down some fire on the Spetsnaz. Obviously, Spetsnaz not very useful against a BMD-2 because they are anti-infantry. He really needs something in there that has anti-tank, but he has managed to kill it. Ah, there isn't. There is Spetsnaz OP, is that? Yeah, OP with the anti-tank launcher. Many T-55As here, laying down some serious firepower on those Desert Nicky. Up at the top of the map, it looks like Lathans is attempting to just hold. He has marked these Desert Nicky for destruction. But a smattering of units for both players, certainly more for Toff at the top. Lathans bringing in loads more T-55As. Oh yes. And some T-34s. And we're going for some heavy tank spam from Lathans here. We'll see how that plays out. Obviously, he's already secured this city, which is the most important thing. He now needs to secure the other side. T-64B from Toff there. Very good unit. Obviously, outperforms the T-55s. Lovely to see the T-64s back in the game. Fantastic tank. Zoom in for a little shot of that. The graphics are nice when you zoom right in. I mean, the model detail is very good. I don't do it very often because I know it makes some people dizzy, but it is nice once in a while just to zoom in and have a look at a tank driving around the fields. We do see those Desert Nicky Metis pushing up against those Conkers. The Conkers are retreating. We also see some units from Toff moving up around the back there. Obviously, Toff has lost control of the bottom point, so he's obviously thinking, let's control the top point. Plenty of reinforcements coming in for Toff as well, mainly for the lower point here. Obviously, needs to regain some kind of foothold. On the other side of the map, mostly reinforcements coming down the bottom as well for Lathans. He's bringing in a command there. Toff was ahead with commands initially. Obviously got those 543 points. It is beneficial, but at the moment, really, Toff needs to get some kind of control on this lower point alpha. Just having a look at what everyone's bringing in. More anti-air coming in there for Lathans. All of those tanks. He's sending some T-55s up towards the top now, perhaps to lay down some fire on all these units moving across. Toff, obviously, in a reasonable position there, is controlling the majority of that point. Obviously, Lathans redirecting stuff up there. This command infantry will sit in this point, so it will be +2 to Lathans very shortly. I can imagine a command coming in for Toff up in Echo, though. He does seem to control enough of it right now. It really depends what happens with these T-55s. Su-17 M4 rocket attack jet back in. Obviously just waiting for a target. Looks like there is a little bit of a maneuver going on here. Lots of infantry running across open fields down here. Command is now in, and that'll be +2 to Lathans any second now. There it goes. This is very risky, these infantry moving across an open field there. These ones as well, really, I suppose, in an ideal world, you want smoke. The good thing is that Toff is quite secure here because Lathans hasn't pushed his forces really to the edge of this area. If he was in these forests, or these tree lines, then obviously Toff would be having a really difficult time right now. But mostly he's got in unscathed. A risky play perhaps by Toff, but one that has paid off. Recon chopper coming in here for Lathans, obviously wanting to see what's up at the top. These tanks doing a little bit of damage. Suchin moving in as well. There is an anti-tank gun sat there. Obviously still some units sat around the back here, and there is an anti-air unit there, which will make short work of that MI2. Honkers there taking out, or trying to take out that UAZ. Have missed. The Des and Nikki have got into a nice position, but unfortunately, there's just an overwhelming force of tanks here. I mean, even with an RPG, there's just so many tanks there, they're going to rip apart these infantry squads. Yeah, look at that. All that machine gun fire, all those shells going in. Oh, that one's dead. Got shot in the side by those Designiki. But there's some Spetsnaz moving in on these guys now. More reinforcements coming in there, of course. And an 80 chopper with rockets as well. That'll be very handy in this situation. Does need to be careful though, as there are OSAs there, and he is moving OSAs up. Likely because he's spotted that chopper. Command in for Lathans at the top as well. Look at this. He has managed to clear the top point as well. Echo is now in, well, I wouldn't say firmly in control of Lathans, but certainly resecured this side. One of these units is dead up here. The Spetsnaz is still alive. It's quite interesting. These two divisions have some similar units, obviously. Malika in there, dropping down some fire support. T-64 BVK command tank coming in, I assume heading towards the bottom here. Obviously this top corner is controlled by Toff, but I think that's going to be a difficult one to maintain. Two anti-tank jets in there. I assume this is to deal with the T-64 tanks. Yeah, here they come. One on each. Oh, one dead, the other one missed. It looked like it had hit, but it actually missed the target. A lucky escape for that T-64. Both jets got out intact, though. There isn't a lot of air defense here, just an Afghansky or two. That's not even an Afghansky, that's a ZU-23. Konkurs and Radvezka and Metis heading towards the top there. Toff rebuilding that defensive line. Command coming in down the bottom here. Currently +4 for Lathans. He is ticking up those points, but only slowly. Toff still ahead. But at this point, I believe it would be a draw if the game ended now. But we've got 30 minutes left to go. Little bit of pushing from Toff here. Tank just picking off infantry units. Whereas Vedka running around the back here managed to get past those Spetsnaz. There's the command in. That is neutralized. Just +2 now to Lathans. HE Bomber and anti-air jet in up here at the top. And a T-64 moved up now, engaging on these units. HE Bomber going for that corner. Nice strike. Actually did quite a bit of damage to those guys, but didn't kill them. I think... Are they taking fire now from the tank? They are, I think. Now being evac'd by Lathans, pulled back. Target switch to the Auf Clara. Very good call on that bomber, though. Anti-air jet is damaged. Probably needs to be evac'd. It is on 1 pip of health. If that swings back around, it's going to die. Another buck coming in there for Lathans as well. Loads of UAZs with SPG-9s coming in there. That is what we call a bit of a meme spam. Look at them all. Extremely effective. Very cheap. 30 points. Little anti-tank gun effectively. Well, I say anti-tank, it's a heat gun, but you see about a little high explosive anti-tank gun there. So its damage will not increase with distance, but you know, 14 penetration, still pretty good. That is a very dead jet, I think. Was that possibly the MiG-29 going down there? I didn't catch it out the corner of my eye, I'm afraid. But it was flying around with very low health. Anti-tank jet was coming in there to take out the T-64, but the T-64 smoked and pulled back in time. No command in for the top yet from Tof. Obviously important at the moment to focus on maintaining control of the bottom here. Because if all this stuff manages to push up from Lathans, then the command tank is at risk. MiG-29 in again, getting very close to that side. Once again, taking fire from the Bucks, but it has been evac'd. Some combat in this building here. The Conker's engaged by the MOT Razvedka. Wow, they got really far up. That's pretty impressive, to be honest. Spetsnaz took out the squad that was down here, though. I'm just impressed at the fact that they're in that building. Considering how many units Lathans has up here. Still no command for the top. More mortars being brought in. HE bomber in again. Possibly going to go for that corner once more. They have been rearmed, though, repaired by one of those supply trucks. So this will take fire. Yeah, I was going to say it's dead, but it has dropped its bombs. But they're already being moved. Just caught them, but they're absolutely fine. Lathans was hot on the movement of that. Artillery piece being used to bombard the T-64 is doing it some damage now. MiG-29 coming in a little bit too close to those Bucks. Managed to get away without being hit, though. 2 Malkas in now. Obviously trying to dish out the damage on that T-64. Lathans in a reasonably strong position, but only +2 currently. I would say that he has more on the field, but then Tof has T-64s, which are quite expensive tanks compared to all these T-55s, which are 45 points currently. I'm wondering what he's going to do with all of these UAZs. I don't know if they're just down there for defense, or if he has a little plan to swing them around the bottom. Maybe get them into the back of this point and kill the command. That is a distinct possibility. It feels like a bit of a build-up rather than a defensive wall. Another jet being taken down there. Command still alive here. T-64 is being pushed up. There isn't a lot up here. I mean, reality is Lathans has lost quite a few units that he brought in here. Slowly being picked off. This T-64 is going for the kill on this command. More tanks being called in there by Lathans, but it's going to be too late if Tof really pushes this. I mean, there's nothing here that can kill a T-64. Question is, where are those anti-tank jets? There they are. MiG-27M anti-tank coming in to try and deal with that, and it is out in the open. That is a bad position for that tank. There's very little anti-air there. I think this tank's dead. That tank has been a thorn in Lathan's side for a while. Has managed to evade that. I'm just waiting to see if it's dead. It's managed to evade that anti-tank jet a couple of times, I think. Certainly at least once when we were watching. So Lathans will be pleased to have rid himself of that. Tof building up an amount of forces here. He does have a line. He has some expensive units. But it's whether he can push past. Command back in that point for Lathans, back to +2. Obviously, Lathans getting out ahead now. Just over 24 minutes left to go in this match. What got destroyed there? That's a chopper going down, and that tank is routed. T-64 BVK is repaired, though. But a little bit of movement here from Lathans, moving some of those tanks further up. Obviously wanting to stop any reinforcements coming in this way. And those tanks have moved up at the perfect time. BMD-2's coming in here. Won't be extremely useful against all of these tanks' front armor. Only have the autocannon. Oh. Something has a long-range launcher, yeah. Anti-tank launcher from the Radvedka BMP-1P there. More reinforcement arriving out at the top for Lathans. Various units arriving for Toff as well. Toff bringing in a rocket attack chopper. Not a bad choice at all. There's an attack chopper there as well, which is getting shot down at the moment. T-62's coming in there. Mortar rounds coming in as well. I think Lathans wants this point. As in, all of it rather than just some of it. Down here we do see that Toff is pushing up rapidly with those infantry. Obviously better at close range against these tanks. Able to then fire their launcher. Can't see them yet, I don't think, because they're not firing. Mortars are known as specifically being used against this corner again. Quite a build-up here, but Lathans has had to pull back. Command in there for Toff. Finally, we are now neutralized. Lathans swinging Spetsnaz Gru round the back at the top and the bottom. This is going to be an attempt to take out those command vehicles. Obviously, neither command vehicle actually defended at the moment. In fairness, neither are Lathans. It is a risk you take, whether you defend these command vehicles or not, and in a tournament like this, it can be potentially beneficial. But there's also the argument that defending them costs money, and, you know, a command vehicle is 100 points to replace. If you spend 100 points then defending them, is it easier or more worthwhile just to replace it? That's a debate for each player themselves. But I do love sticking a man-pad in a building next to them. And maybe a little squad of infantry or something. Even just to act as an early warning system. MiG-29 AA did come in there. I think maybe the chopper was spotted. I'm not sure. But the Spetsnaz Gru are on the move. These ones have been dropped off as well. They will get in behind the lines there and kill those commands pretty easily. This one is very close to this tree line as well. Question is, has Toff seen that? I'm not sure. T-55s. And T-34 engaging these units that managed to push up Toff. Again, managing to advance into the point. And Lathans almost letting them push in by pulling back his forces. The same as he did up here. Those T-62s were pulled back. Now a big maneuver here. Moving a huge wall of tanks. Mostly light tanks, but nonetheless tanks. Here they are on the move. He doesn't know that... I assume he doesn't know that these guys are all in these buildings. Lots of smoke gone down there, so he's able to push effectively. Conquers out of firepower. Spetsnaz Gru can still engage. Obviously, they're now seen, though. They have revealed themselves, and everything will be firing at them. Spetsnaz Gru here will get the kill on that command by the looks of it. I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled on that. Let's turn us around so we can see both areas at once. Yeah, just simply overwhelming force up here at the top from Lathans. He's going for the kill here as well, I think. Command back in here for Lathans. Very briefly, Toff had control of that point and has managed to get up to 747. But Lathans in complete control. Command is dead there from Toff. I feel like a command is about to die down here as well, but we'll see. Oh, look at this. The UAZs are on the move. He is moving them around the back, as expected he might. Being raced up this road, though there are some anti-tank guns here. That's going to put a stop to a lot of this maneuvering. Oh, maybe not. He has lost quite a few of them, though. He's only got 2 left. Very effective. Oh, no, he's got 3 left, sorry. Very effective defense, though. Those are anti-tank guns. Very effective. Complete control of this point now achieved by Lathans. Mi-2Ts are now going off the map, probably being sold. Well, the UAZs here managed to kill a couple of units, but didn't achieve what they wanted to achieve. If he wants to kill that command vehicle, he's going to have to send the Spetsnaz crew in. Still, +2 currently to Lathans. 18 minutes left in this game. Still, plenty of blue on the field, but I feel as though Lathans has managed to get himself into a nice position at the top now. Obviously, very focused in this bottom corner. Whether Toff could bring in enough units around the back, perhaps, I'm not sure. Not a lot in the middle of the map for Lathans, incidentally. Artillery dropping on that road there. I'm not entirely sure what they were trying to hit. Possibly that, but it's moving. Well, you know, Lathans' forces here have been whittled down quite a lot. Let's be honest. He's got the infantry. He's got an MTLB or 2, and he's got... That's it. His forces are gone. I mean, all credit to Toff. He has whittled down the attacking force and could now push back into Echo. Lots of reinforcements coming in for Lathans, of course, because he really wants to hang on to that corner. Otherwise, it's going to drag the game out even further. Spetsnaz crew, I don't know where they're going. He has marked that command, finally. I assume that will be for an artillery barrage. But these guys are going to get spotted, sat there. I mean, they could destroy some reinforcements coming in, but they're at serious risk. Supply chopper at the back there. Toff is back in this point. Look at Toff go. These Spetsnaz crew have been spotted by those choppers. Spetsnaz. The Mi-8 using its rockets. Fantastic. That one has been killed by the artillery, though. Spetsnaz crew has been marked by Toff, but has managed to take out the unit coming along the road there. That doesn't. Nicky should be able to engage them, though. I think that was a surrender. Yeah, Toff has surrendered there. Obviously, a significant difference in kills to losses there. Lathans very much ahead. Well played, guys. Toff, well done. You got back in that point at the top. You whittled down Lathans' huge wave of tanks and stuff that he pushed at the top. You did a really good job. I understand why you surrendered. I understand that it was a long, drawn-out game there. Well done, Lathans. Really good game, as always. Let's hop straight into the next game. So, game 2, we have Toff on the right-hand side in blue, playing as the 82nd Airborne this time. And on the left in red, we have Lathans playing as the 7th Panzer Division. Some very early airborne units, obviously right out at the front, getting into Alpha and Echo before Lathans can even get close with his recon, never mind anything else. Couple of anti-air MiG-21s in for Lathans already, looking for choppers to take out, I assume. Lots of Fireteam Dragons here. Stingers. He's got a good mix here, actually. Also some military police. Needs to get those out of those vehicles very quickly to start taking out these guys. Yep, there we go. Very effective, doing lots of damage to Lathan's units already. Toff in a very strong position in both points with all those airborne units. Selling off all of these Humvees as well. Attack mark down on the front of there from Lathans. Don't know what his plan is. He's got a lot of T-55As coming in once more. Anti-air jet in there for Toff. There is a Strela coming in here. 2 anti-air MiG-21s in again. That has been hit. It needs to get out. The Stinger being marked by Lathans as well. Commands in for Lathans. Commands already in for Toff UK though. Toff getting really far ahead in points already with +6. This is how he achieved that 500 at the start of the last game as well. Getting some early points can make all the difference. Lathans coming in very strong and hard with a lot of tanks, fire support with some pioneers here. Obviously the aim to take out all of the infantry. Reinforcements urgently needed down at the bottom for Toff, I think. There are so many infantry coming in now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squads. Plus all of the tanks as fire support. There is an Abrams here though. The M1IP. Very good tank. Better armor. But will be taking a lot of fire from all of these T-55s. Infantry at the front there. Obviously taking a lot of fire from the T-55s as well. The M1IP will do a lot of damage to these T-55s. Once it gets in range, but the closer it gets, the higher the damage output of the T-55As as well. So then it becomes at risk. Mortars being brought in there, more reinforcements being called in to defend that point. Up here, the military police got out quite far in front, but unfortunately they've quickly ran out of firepower. Airborne moving around the back, which has been spotted by Lathans. Majority of Lathan's focus will be down the bottom, but he is indeed calling in tanks for the top as well. Lathan's a very good player, able to focus on multiple areas of the map at once. We had a discussion, funnily enough, how I'm always talking about the fact that I wonder if he's zoomed all the way out when he's playing, but he actually does play a bit more zoomed in, he tells me. He's just jumping around the map a lot with the space bar where you go to the alerts and things like that and watching for what's being killed at the side of the screen. Now, I can't actually say that Toff hasn't been in any of the other tournaments unless they've changed their name, but I'm very impressed with how they're playing. I mean, Lathans to me is a very, very difficult player to come up against in any situation. But Toff is doing really well in these two games, holding their own. Got the right composition of units, moving into the right position. Command coming in for Toff for the bottom now, which is a really good idea. Get more early points before Lathans manages to get a command in himself. Good use of mortars here, laying down some fire support on this area to try and force Lathans units further back. More infantry arriving down here. At the top, there are some more units being called in, including an infantry commander. Very good choice. A little bit worried about the amount of tanks coming in here. There are also some rocket attack choppers there. It's just the one, I think. There's a Stinger there, though, so there is some air defense. Matsuchin being brought in right around the bottom here, including some flame tanks as well. Airborne scouts will see them. Marker going down again on the center of this point here. Airborne engineers commander just at the back there. Is that an artillery piece in? Yeah, artillery piece in already for Lathans this game. He's marking the mortars, I think. Lathans bringing in quite a few units here. Those airborne scouts pushing around. Ah, that's what the rocket attack chopper is for, to deal with the airborne scouts. Certainly more reinforcements coming in at the top there. A steady stream of vehicles going back and forth at the bottom as well. Fire Team 84s coming in down here. So Lathans is kind of pinned in this little forest area at the moment. I think ideally he wants to come in down from the bottom as well. That is very close to those other tanks. I'd be worried about that, Abrams. And just see, I mean, it's sort of heavy machine gun range, those tanks. But it does mean that he is well within the tank gun range, so their damage output will be increased. They're sat at 14. Obviously, you know, this thing has very high front armor, to be fair, 17. But I think that's probably within range to start doing serious damage. Especially when it rolls forward to the edge of that area. Good use of mortars for harassment there. Toff just needs to keep them moving. Marker gone down at the top here. On where he believes the commanders are, I guess. Unless it was just on the Stinger, which is a distinct possibility. These airborne scouts are still alive. Oh, artillery coming down. I think it's on the air. I think it's on the Stinger. I think the Stinger took out or did some damage to that Rocket 2. Airborne scouts chasing Lathan's units down. HE bomber coming in. What's it going to hit? I think it's hitting that building at the back. Oh! Actually got the commander. Commanding at the bottom for Lathans as well, so it is now neutralized. But Toff is out ahead with 744 points. Wow. Lathans being very ballsy. 3 jets across the other side. F-15C Eagle is in though. Will be doing some serious damage. Took out 1 jet immediately. Swinging around to take out this other anti-air jet. Good shout. Bringing in an F-15C at that point. F-4E not bad either. There's a huge bundle of red down here. And at this corner. Now this is really interesting. Quite often we see the player on the left-hand side of the map tends to go for this corner to bring in their command. But interesting that obviously Lathan's here in control of this area a bit further into the point and has brought his command in at the back there. Just a little bit different. Nice to see people doing something a little bit different. Couple of artillery pieces in for Toff as well now. Those Matsuchin were pushing up. Have managed to kill the other scouts. Who's going to win out between them and the AB fire team though? Flame tanks there. Getting some shots down on those units. There is another AB fire team coming in here. I'm waiting to see what happens to this tank. I just want to see if it takes much damage from the T-55s. It's killed the T-55. That's it. The T-55s are actually all dead that were there. So the Abrams currently is okie dokie to stay put. Mortar fire coming down again on that forest area. What's happening down here? Both squads taking a lot of damage. I think the fire team will win, especially with this fire team coming in as well. Couple of markers gone down on those mortars, but those mortars will immediately be moving. Artillery pieces now firing on this area as well. Oh, they were going for the command vehicle at the back. Command vehicle is being moved up. Sorry, command infantry. I do apologize. Let's zoom out and have a good look. So the T-72's coming in there for Lathan. Some heavier tanks, a little bit more expensive there at 100 points apiece. Some more infantry at the back. Those are mortars. More T-55s as well. Lathan's with a good line down here. Just over 10 minutes now into the game. Plenty of game to go here. Lathan's currently +2 as he has a command in the top. And Toff does not. Toff bringing in more stingers here. I think Toff relying on the F-15 and the F-4E to perhaps be doing the anti-air rather than bringing in other anti-air units at the moment. He does have a Vulcan cannon in there though. Ideally, I suppose Toff would be in a better position if he could manage to kill the commander that's in there, or indeed the commander that's down here. Lathans doesn't have a huge amount in this area now. I mean, he's literally got the Special Alf Clara, Estrella, and some munitions. most of his remaining forces are these 2 tanks here and the SPW-70. But the problem is, I'm not sure. I mean, Toff could push. I do feel like Toff has enough to push here and retake this area, but Toff can't see what Lathans has, is the issue. We can obviously see the entire map. So it's a risk, because if Toff moves all of those units and loses half of them, then it really weakens their position in that point. Abrams doing a really good job, but is running out of ammo rapidly. There we go. We are seeing a pull-out from Lathans there. He is even moving the commander out of the point. Commander in again at the top for Toff. Artillery being used to hit those pioneers. Pioneers have been moved out across the command. Gotta say, it's always the case that Lathans seems to have eyes in the back of his head, because he's always moving his commanders out just in the nick of time. But at the moment, back to +2 for Toff. Toff in a much stronger position this game than last game, perhaps. In the bottom point, certainly at the top, it seems a bit mixed again. Not sure where those stingers were going. That may have been a misclick. Heavy tank push once more from Lathans. Very effective in this point last game. Once more coming in with a load more T-55s coming at the back as well. So he's got another wave ready to get going. TOW 2 obviously will be very effective in this situation, though is taking lots of fire. Smoke going down on the fire team there. I mean, Lathans has a lot more here. He is going to take over that point. Cobra is being moved up to assist. Down here, we do see that Toff is in control now of that forested area after the pullout by Lathans. Currently +4 to Toff. 900 points and counting. As I say, better position last time. Shilka is in, taking out that Cobra though. That's unfortunate. Look at this huge wall of tanks moving across here. This is a Blitzkrieg and a half. Look at them go. Just charging across. And this is the thing. A wall of cheap tanks like that can be so devastating if you don't have your own wall of tanks or wall of anti-tank guns. I mean, a cluster strike right now would kill, you know, 3 or 4 of these in one go, but I don't know if Toff has any cluster bombers in his deck. This is a very challenging thing to stop. It's a lot of tanks. You really need cluster bombers or your own tanks. Anti-tank guns. I mean, the problem is, I mean, the TOW Cobra in there, you know, TOWs and things like that are great, but they might take a couple of hits to take out a tank, and they miss more, and yeah, the list goes on. Command has been lost, obviously, for Toff there. Toff still in complete control of the bottom point and moving units up further. Where's that dragon going? Getting shot at by the tank at this side. There is only 1 tank remaining there, though. Really needs to stop and return fire. Oh, it's getting fired at by those T-72s as well now. I think it's hidden at the moment, though, but as soon as it fires at anything, it's in trouble. Lathans using mortars on the front of this point now. Obviously, Lathans would really like to get a command back in. Those guys are dead. Abrams and Sheridan's coming in here now to try and deal with this horde of tanks, and a rocket, A-10 rocket coming in there to try and do some damage as well. Toff's mortar there, caught a little bit out of position, has been surrounded by Lathans forces. Lathans building a new defensive wall at this point here. Perfectly possible that Toff can get back in here, but needs to start killing those tanks. Another 2 Abrams coming in there. Oh, he should be able to easily smash these tanks. Just needs to make sure that he doesn't get outflanked or shots from the side. Rocket attack coming in again. It's not out of rockets, but it's mainly using its main cannon on these tanks, I think. Weirdly. You would think it would be firing its rockets as well, because the rockets are actually very good at stunning tanks. Change of tack here from Lathans. He's now moved to this top corner, as we usually see from the player at that side of the map, with his wall of tanks coming in. Utilizing missiles this time, though, to try and do some damage, but is missing the Abrams. Toe Cobra coming in there, has managed to kill out of the back. 3 Abrams tanks had pushed up here, but smoke coming down to try and stop their progression. Toe Cobra in a bad position there. Oh, another 2 MiG-21s in. FOE Phantom in, but a little bit too late for that. These tanks very strong. One of them looks damaged, I think. Hang on. It's that one at the top, yeah, half health. Perhaps be pulling that back and getting it repaired. Ah, supply trucks coming in as we speak. And there it goes, getting reversed out. See, it's like I'm reading their minds sometimes. Another Toe Cobra swinging in around the bottom there. Toe Cobra obviously very useful against these tanks, though the smoke causes issues. Artillery being dropped on the units over at this corner now. More reinforcement being called in there. Toff is holding at the bottom. Still ahead in points. 22 minutes left to go in this game. But it is non-stop in these two games from these two players. Constant action. There's always something going on. One of them is always pushing. I'm trying to keep an eye on what Lathans is doing here and also what Toff is doing here. I think we'll turn slightly sideways again just so we can see both those points at once. Have a look at it from Toff's point of view. Obviously the ideal situation being getting back into this forest. I mean, Toff really needs to get back in there. Smoke being dropped here again in front of those tanks. I mean, it's a good strategy. The idea here is to stop Toff being able to move in. There's a lot of stuff still in here. There's infantry in there and there's tanks. And the closer these Abrams get, the more damage these cheaper tanks will be able to do to them. More tanks coming in at the back for Lathans. What we got coming in here? Fire teams. More fire teams. I'm umming and ahhing. I mean, again, I kind of wish that Pua Toff had a cluster bomber of some description just to bring in, or something to deal with these tanks in here. Oh dear, I think, yeah. While I was off elsewhere, he has lost one of his Abrams tanks. That's a real shame. Obviously, getting so close to all of these infantry and these tanks really increases the damage output of the tanks. Infantry already doing quite a lot of damage. There's one tank here. This one back here has been repaired and is moving forward now. Toff doing a superb job, though. Look at the control here. Has killed everything in that corner. Lathans getting pushed further and further back in this area, to be honest. Is now here only and obviously in this corner. Lathans has been pushed back from this position as well. Toff has managed to push up, got that Abrams all the way up there, doing significant damage to these tanks, which are now retreating. Oh, this tank in a bad position, though, is engaged by the Avklara, but the Avklara are going to die, I should think. Abrams is retreating, but probably would have killed them. They only had one guy left. Abrams taking shots from that tank, but has managed to do the deed and has finished the job. Well done, Toff. Back into Echo you go. Is there a command coming in for that point? Do you have another command? I know you've lost 2 in that point, I think, so far. Or is it only 1? The games all merge when you watch enough of them. Really, really good game again, guys. Really enjoying this. It makes for some of the most exciting games when you get 2 players who are just constantly doing some kind of push somewhere. And I mean, Toff doing a really good job at keeping even Lathans on his toes. Lathans, obviously, we've seen in many a tournament now from the monthly tournaments where he can push the entire map at once, but I haven't seen Lathans do a full map push in either of these games. I think Toff is just doing a really good job of defending and pushing equally to some extent in these games. 18 minutes left to go. Toff way out ahead at 1,140 points. Obviously needs to secure this area a little bit more, but I would say right now, looking reasonably good for Toff. Smoke gone down here. Is Lathans thinking about doing a push, or is that just a distraction for the units coming around here? There are some flame troops coming around there. Do these guys? Yes, they do have rocket launcher, and they are moving into position. Beautifully done. Those squads aren't in range to use their flames, but they are outnumbering that airborne squad, which is already damaged. Artillery coming down on that Abrams right now. Lots of tanks ready and waiting to push there. Let's spin ourselves back around here. Toff getting some dragons in here, so in a good position. Some artillery being dropped on here to try and kill some of the anti-air. It's actually a very nice strike. Done a lot of damage to that AA piece. A little bit concerned about these units swinging around the back here. I don't know if that fire team saw them. Obviously puts this command vehicle at risk. A 10 rocket attack coming in there. Don't know if it's got anything in its sights. How much anti-air is there at this side? There's a Shilka there. Isn't a huge amount. Oh, there's something in the middle though. And there's some anti-air jets coming in. Oh, and it's dead. Now, when I go up against an A-10, my anti-air stuff always misses them. As if they've got amazing ECM. Good defensive position here. He has lost his squad that were in here, and Lathans once again in control of that little area. Looks like a push here. Smoke has gone down in front of these guys to stop them seeing what's coming. I think all of these units are moving in. Tanks moving in at that side as well. Here comes Lathan's aggressive move for Alpha. Is there a command coming in? Yes, there is. There is a Sheridan tank coming in. Command Sheridan coming in for Echo by the looks of it. Yeah, this looks like an all-out Lathans assault on this point. Tanks moving in down the bottom there, supported by lots of munitions vehicles. Special Alf Clara moving in here, along with a couple of squads of Motsuchin by the looks of it. Lathans, as ever, going for overwhelming force. Command is in the corner. Back to +2 for Lathans. Also see some tanks shuffling around up here as well. I feel like Lathans has more on the field up here at the moment, but there are some decent and expensive units on the field for Toff. This tank moving very far forward again, though. It is risky to get it so close to the enemy lines sometimes. Is supported by infantry, though. Well done. He's managed to take out the anti-air that was there. Still some Cubs at the back. F-15C Eagle came in. Oh, and it is lost to the Cubs. Cubs very good at the moment against aircraft. Wall of tanks moving into this town area, along with infantry from this side, and strafing runs from the jets are so powerful at the moment. So powerful. They insta-gib infantry. Push at the top as well from Lathans. He's moving up all of those tanks. Command is back in the point. Lathans going for a cross-map push here, I think. He may well stop where he is at the top, though. I'm not sure. Abrams could do with being moved up, I think, to the edge of that forest area. Not a lot of AA back here. There are infantry also moving in. That vehicle is at significant risk now. Currently neutralized, but Lathans is on the move. Look at all these forces moving in. All those tanks. Heavy use of smoke. Trying to stop units being able to fire through the town buildings. Look at all of these tanks firing on this building to collapse it and do damage to the infantry inside. Obviously providing a lot of defense, that building, to the infantry, but the amount of firepower coming out of those tanks. HE bomber in right at the back here. Hasn't dropped his payload of bombs. I wondered if it was waiting to see where the command vehicle was to bomb it, but it's swinging back around this way now. Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to get evac'd, surely. Abrams tank coming in here. Lathans has stopped moving at the top, but there is lots of artillery coming down on that corner. Oh, Sheridan has been killed. That's unfortunate, Toff. You were doing so well. Multiple HE bombers coming in. Just the cheap MiG-21s hitting this town here, doing serious damage to the infantry. Toff holding at the top, but unfortunately has lost the command up there. These units at the back have now been spotted and are being engaged by the tank, and the Cobra will be able to defend against them. The Humvee that is there is protected. Another Sheridan command tank coming in. Just under 12 minutes left of this game. Lathans has a lot of points to make up. A lot of points. Toff really just needs to hold. Not sure what Toff has in the way of bombers and things, but if you have the money, perhaps now is the time to call it in. It's very difficult at this stage of the game to know what to call in this situation. Plenty more airborne coming in, but unfortunately those T-72s are going to be in a position to take out any reinforcements coming down that road. Abrams taken out from the side. Toff making a push at the top. Lathans retreating his tanks back. This is quite an interesting tactic we've seen in both these games from Lathans. Not something we see done a lot in most of the tournament games so far. Is Lathans is literally letting a point fall, retreating his forces so that they don't get killed. Rather than risk losing lots of tanks, he is just pulling them all back. It's a very good strategy. Losing the point, risking losing the possibility of pushing back in, and then waiting and then moving them back in when he feels it's safe to do so. He did it again up here just now. He pulled back those T-55s. Lovely strike there. I think he killed a few tanks. Yes, he did. That was a lovely strike. Unfortunately, I'm not sure the plane survived, but that was a lovely strike. Managed to kill 3 T-72s there. Smouldering wrecks. Humvees with airborne down the bottom there. Coming out. As I say, Toff just needs to hold. Oh, HE bombers coming in. What are they going for? They're going for the command. That's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. Toff has very little at the top now. There are quite a few tanks waiting for him there. And he is bringing in, obviously, another Sheridan. Sheridan at the bottom. I don't know how many commands Toff will still have in his deck. Obviously, there is a point where you run out. +4 currently to Lathans. 9 minutes left in this game. Lathans has a lot of units in this point now. Tanks pushing up to this side. Obviously, we'll want to get them in that forest or tree line there to be able to fire out. Puts these these artillery piece guns at significant risk.
Aiming to try and take out the command vehicle at this side. Unfortunately, didn't get a direct hit, so didn't stun. He's managed to stress it out a tiny bit, though. Napalm bomber coming in here. Probably going to hit that corner. That would have been super effective if it was still there. Because the napalm does a lot of damage. They are not cheap, those jets. Yeah. Lathan's got himself into a position here. Is pushing those tanks up, I think. Very low on fuel, though. He's retreating it back. I was going to say. Command in here, but immediately getting hit by artillery. Attack beacon went down for Lathans there on that tank. More cubs being brought in here. Cluster bomber coming in. Going for this corner as well. Yes, it is. Lathans. Oh, Lathans has got out of the way in time. That is very unlucky, Toff. You've almost had that command a couple of times. Very unlucky. +2 currently to Lathans. Command has been killed at the top, though. T-55s are pushing up. Back to +4. 7 minutes left in this game. Just over. Toff needs to hold. Needs to kill some commands. Oh, I think that was a surrender again. Yeah. Toff has surrendered. Much, much closer on the kills to losses there, guys. Much, much closer. Well done. That was a really good game. Commiserations, Toff. You played exceptionally well. Really, really did exceptionally well in that second game especially. Really impressed with how you held and managed to push back. But Lathans just, again, with the build-up of forces, pulling stuff out when he knows he's going to lose it, trying to keep stuff alive, really paid off at the end of the day, allowing him to do a big push at the end there. Let's have a quick look at kills and losses from this game. I know I didn't on the last game, but ST24 HE did a really good job. T72's really, really outstanding through that game. Lots of kills. The T55s as well, doing a really good job. On the other side, Fireteam Dragons, Military Police, Bradley did alright. Airborne Scouts were doing well. Abrams doing exceptionally well. Abrams doing exceptionally well. Cluster Bomber, look at all the kills it got. Airborne Dragon, Cobra. Really, really good game. Really well played to both players. Exceptionally fun pair of games. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe. Check out the link below if you can be bothered. Please do click that link. Click a couple of buttons down the side. Contribute for free to the prize pool for this tournament. And also, please do check out Lathans. He has a Twitch channel. I will link it down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all soon for some more tournament games.